Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome to the Cougar Den, affectionately named by the late great Hall of Fame, two-time Hall of Fame coach John Giesler. I am Tony Worley, broadcasting live from the Allen Stout broadcast booth. Allen Stout, nobody loved Illini Central more than Allen Stout did. It's an honor to broadcast from a booth that we have honored his memory in, as I bring to you this evening our game tonight between our Illini Central Greenview Lady Cougars and the Auburn Lady Trojans. Neither one of us had school today, so we both are going to be off of our normal routine of things this evening. As a former coach, always fun to play on a Saturday or to have those games when the kids were able to sleep in a little bit, and then hope to try to get everything back into its normal routine. The Lady Cougars come into the game with a record of 9-9. The Lady Trojans come into the game with a record of 13-10. In the last 5 games for the Lady Trojans, they are 3-2. Those losses were to Nokomis and Olympia. And let me get back to where I was real quick. See. Doing a deep dive on some of the teams that we both have coming up, and now I'm away from their Max Preps page, which I should know as we get into the broadcast. I take a lot of what I get from Max Preps from the IHSA website. Sometimes I just saw one where if a coach has a game in there twice, sometimes that'll skew the record. Maybe they'll get a double win or a double loss. I had that happen the last year I was the varsity coach, that you had to check before you did the seeding. So what I was looking for, their last wins were over Edinburgh South Fork. That was late last week, or early last week actually. They beat Williamsville back on the 15th, and Auburn also won back on the 10th at Carlinville. So those are their 3 most recent wins. I mentioned the last defeats they had in the past few days, or the last 5 games. Lady Cougars come in having come off of a win last Thursday at Midwest Central, a win last Tuesday at North Fulton, and then a win in here in the Cougar Den versus Sangamon Valley. The 2 games before that were a Saturday loss against Pawnee and Calvary here in the Cougar Den, close game, we lost by 2, and the game on the Thursday prior, that was when we ran into the 18-0 buzzsaw that is the Pleasant Plains Cardinals, Lady Cardinals. So my keys to the game, having watched the majority of our girls' games this year, are every game we talk about rebounding, and the rebounding is an issue because we play zone, like I've mentioned on other broadcasts. If you've been with me before, when you play zone, it affects your ability to rebound. You've got to be smart about how you're gonna go after rebounding. You kind of just got to go get it. Boxing out's great until it's not. You got to go rebound. Number 2, we've shot the ball a lot better in those last few games that we've played. Even in a couple of the losses, we've shot the ball better. I think we got to keep doing that. Season's winding down, so number 3, you got to keep up. I'm sure both teams, Coach O'Rourke and Coach Barth for Auburn, and Coach Bunner and Coach Artheloni and Coach Bradshaw and Coach Harper all feel the same way. You kind of got to keep momentum going, and momentum doesn't necessarily mean always that you got to win. You need to keep playing well, learning from the situations that you're in, and that's going to help you build on those situations, help you build towards the postseason, which we'll get into here in a little bit. So we're about a minute away from the tip of this game. We'll be right. I always say we. I'm always by myself, it seems. I'll be right back. usually mention our broadcast, especially on nights that the pep band is here. Mr. Damon, Mr. Castillo, our two band chorus music teachers are fantastic at Illini Central. They do such a great job with our kids. So blessed to have them. And Mrs. Wrigley, we have really great music teachers at Illini Central, and we are so blessed to have them. Mrs. Wrigley does the grade school. Mr. Damon and Mr. Castillo are both on the stage right now. We're so blessed to have people that take their jobs seriously and do such a great job with our students. So let's meet the starting lineups. Number 11, I'll get the names down in a second. 11 and 15. That is 20, 23, and 25. And the starters for the Lady Cougars. We've got 22, Megan Hughes, number 30, Olivia Morrow, number 13, Addie Wilcoxon, number 10, Elena Snyder, number 12, Macy Willis. The last two, Elena and Macy, are both juniors, and the trio, as they like to call them, the first three, Meg, Olivia, and Addie, they are all seniors. So as we wind down the season, the time is getting closer for the girls who have been in the program for the last 4 years, including this year. So let's see. I've got Emmy Divjak. I've got Addison Jones is 15. I got Peyton Danner, which is 23. I thought I circled a 23. And 25 is Reese Meganson. So the jump will go to Addie Wilcoxon. Liv got the tip. We lost and that's a travel when you roll over with it. So Lady Cougars got the tip, turned it right over, and it will be Lady Trojan basketball, Auburn basketball. Number 15 is Addison Jones. She's at the point. Move the ball quickly. She swings it to the other side. It'll take me a minute if you're an Auburn fan to get numbers and names together. It's always the hardest part about doing this. That's a shot from number 20. That's good. Number 20 is Ellie Harvey, which is the one of the 5 starters I did not mention. So she starts off right up with a basket. Nice 1-2, or looked like a 2-2-1 full court press by Auburn to start the game. It's to number 11, back to the top to number 15. 25 for 3. That's Reese Meganson. And they're off to a hot start right away, is Auburn. So it is a 2-2-1, like I said. Got to look middle and then turn and face and look up. Macy Willis does a good job to eliminate pressure there. Ball slips out of Meg's hands. Elena's going to, don't pass up that shot. The bench from Auburn is very loud and active. That's short by Elena Snyder. Rebound down to Auburn. Off to number 15 is Addison Jones. Steal back by Macy Willis. They're going to fall back into, it looks like, an extended 2-3 zone. They like to get after you. They've got some subs so they could do that. Olivia Morrow for 3. It rims out. Macy Willis had it, lost it. And we go the other direction for Auburn. In the corner to Jones, back up top, or Jones is there. 25 is Meganson. They get it inside, but Illini Central is able to knock it away. Like I said, you have to be a little bit patient. You have to look down every time. It'll take a minute to get names. Nice kick out to Meg. Meg quickly to Elena. We got to look to shoot when we're open. Kind of got us a little bit frazzled with the intensity. Bounce pass into Addie Wilcoxon. Wasn't good. She couldn't get it. There's a 3 by Meganson. Rebound down, kick back out. That's another 3. That's off. Elena Snyder with the rebound. Kicked out to Elena. We really got to move when we get it to the high post. When you get it to the high post, you can't stand. The defense turnaround. Another tipped pass, and that's going to be number 11, I think, out on the break for a layup. And Coach Bunner's going to call a full timeout as we're off to a little bit of a rough start here to start the game. Number 11 is Emmy Divjak. So the thing that we're going to have to do is, obviously, with their bench being pretty, normally at our games is really quiet in here, and with some of us, or with some of our fans across the way watching the middle school boys play in on the same campus as what we're on right now, playing in a sectional game. We don't have anybody in here that's not related, probably for the most part, to our girls. Only a handful of people in the crowd that are either here supporting the pep band or whatever. So normally really quiet in here, and it's not quiet in here, which is a good thing. So all 20 people that are watching with me, good to have you. It's cold outside, so decided to stay home. You can listen to me if you want to, or I guess you can always put it on mute, I guess. You have that option. Trying to check and get the huddle camera up so I can see what the boys' score is, but of course it's wanting to show me a commercial right now. I don't have any commercials to show you, so you don't have to worry about that. Kirby Jo Bacon, freshman, subs in, and she will inbound it and pass it to Olivia Morrow. Olivia looks up the sideline. We haven't had trouble breaking the pressure. It's just been moving the ball in the half court and then being aggressive and attacking. They're playing up so far in that 2-3 zone. That's a nice look. It's just kind of far past the throw. We're out of position on defense, and that's a drop down to number. Again, I apologize. Kirby Jo brings it up, get it across to Megan. Megan out to Elena. To Elena again. Got to look in the high post. Got to look right there. You've got to, if you're watching at home and you're like, how are you going to get that ball where you want it against the zone? You've got to be ready to throw that ball when the person that's breaking to the high post breaks. There's another turnover. Kirby Jo gets it back. Almost turnover. There we go. Got to go quick. There you go. Kirby Jo for 3, and that is good. It gets us on the board, 9-3. When you move the ball against that zone, you've heard me and listened to me. Those of you, the Auburn people, haven't. There, good job by Macy getting that steal. The Illini Central people who've been stuck listening to me, I've talked about how you got to move the ball quickly against the zone, and that the zone has to move while the ball's in the air. And right now, Auburn is doing a fantastic job of what I always say that we need to do a good job of, which is, like I said, moving when the ball's in the air. They're not waiting until the ball gets to where it's going. You've got to, our girls have got to be ready to shoot when they catch it, because right now Auburn is playing this defense of about as good as you can play it. They are absolutely moving when the ball is in the air. They are not waiting until it gets to where it's going. They know who our shooters are. If you don't, sometimes I think people who watch high school basketball don't realize the other coaches. I was talking about it with the coaches from Auburn before the game when I was asking pronunciations of names. They've scouted us. They've watched this broadcast. They were talking to me about our broadcasts. It's number 15. She gets called for a travel. That's Addison Jones. Megan Hughes will check back in. So the point I was making before I was focusing on who was subbing in for who, they've scouted us. They know who our shooters are. They know who's been shooting the ball well lately. Nice pass inside. And Addie Wilcoxon with the finish. A nice pass by Macy Willis. So just like that, it's 9-5. Ball is over on the left wing at Meganson. Back goes, she drives baseline. And they're going to call a foul on, I assume, Olivia. Calling a block on Liv. And that will put, like I said, Meganson's the one that drove. She's 25. Like I said, 21 is checked into the game. That's Emerson Womble. She's actually going back out now. Nope, she's just going back up to the top. Number 11 is Emmy Divjak, and she takes the place down at the. Want to have those two people down there. We did not box out whatsoever. And number 15, that's Addison Jones. She did a great job of hustling for that rebound. She's a shot out of a cannon during that free throw. Was nowhere near. I don't know if we even touched her. Watching the middle school boys, the 7th grade sectional game over here on my one of my other screens, and they trail early 5-2 in case you're with me not watching them. Hoping it's packed over there. I didn't make it over with all the stuff I have to set up here, but with 30 seconds I'm behind a little bit, so the people that would be in the gym, we were talking about the huddle camera being about 2 minutes behind, unfortunately, over there, so it's probably already. So Meganson, like I said, after the ball was knocked out of bounds by us, is taking it out. She gives it off to Jones over on the other wing to Divjak. They screen the zone, so she gets a wide open look. She's disappointed about that one. She'd like that one again. Nice play by Addie Wilcoxon. We missed Macy under the basket. Just totally missed her under the basket. Meg, get ready to shoot. Nice pass in there. Look opposite against the zone. Megan Hughes for 3, and it is good. And just like that, we've cut it to a 2-point lead for Auburn. We're off to not a very good start, and kind of the way we go sometimes. There's a 3 right back by number 21. Sometimes the girl's ponytail gets in the way. I can't see the number as they're running down the court. I think it was 21. Yeah, it was 21. That is Emerson Womble with the last 3. Meganson in this corner, back to the top to Jones. She reverses it to the other side, back up to Womble. Jones drives, left-handed, you can tell. And they're going to call a foul there on Macy Willis. Coach Bunner talking about closing out on shooters. One that's maybe one of the most important parts of playing defense is how you close out on a shooter. If you go flying out at them and then they don't shoot it, they can drive right by you. So that, I don't know if there's many things defensively. It's at least in the top 3 most important things is making sure you close out correctly. So that is a shot made by Meganson. Free throw, that is. And it's back to a 14-8 lead. I think Coach Bunner is upset about you don't want to dribble up through that defense because then you're going to get trapped. You want to try to move it, then you can get an advantage. Over to Liv. Over here to Elena. Got to look inside. Oh, got to look high-low there. You're flashing someone high. We got that one basket. That's a nice pass. Go up strong, Mace. Auburn brings it into the front court to Jones, swings it over. They move the ball well against the zone. They obviously know the importance of it because that's what they work on zone themselves. Emmy Divjak over there on the other side. It was the one that I couldn't, when I was trying to say who that was. We get it to Addie in the free throw lane. She shoots an elbow jump shot. It's off. And they'll let it go out of bounds as we go the other direction. So about 15.2 left in the first quarter, Auburn leads 14-8. Addison Jones, a junior, will bring it up. She throws at the high post to Meganson. She shoots, misses. Rebound down to Megan Hughes with 3-2. Meg throws it. and it's just short, and Illini Central trails at the end of the first quarter 14-8, but we were down 7-0 at one point. So that was an improvement. Looking over at that boys game, in case you're not a nerd like me at home and you have multiple screens that you could have them on at your computer, the boys have kind of cut it. It's an 8-4 lead. I haven't really had a chance because of calling it to see what's going on. I know from talking to one of our coaches that Peoria St. Philomena plays full court press. So I wonder. Blake Montgomery just made a free throw to cut it to a 3-point game. We're not picking up full court, it looks like. A chance to go to state on the line over there in the Cougar Center. It will be Auburn basketball to start the second quarter, and they lead 14-8. We've got starters on the floor. They've got Meganson. They've got Jones. They've got Divjak. They've got Womble. And Megan Hughes pulls it away. And then number 20, that is Ellie Harvey. There's a foul, an inadvertent foul. And that goes back to when Coach Bunner was mentioning closing out. We got to close out correctly. Meganson will take it out, throws it into the backcourt to Jones. Addison Jones brings it up into the corner. Skipped out. Divjak moves it quickly. She does a good job of not letting it get stuck in her hands. We used to say that to our guys about don't let the ball get stuck in your hands. If you're not doing something with it, swing it. Don't just sit there and hold it. And they do a good job of moving it. That's kind of what we need to be doing too, but not in that situation there. We need to fake a pass to make a pass. That's a drive and a finish by see, that's number 11. That's Emmy Divjak. She gets an and one opportunity out of this. And she gets both of them. And it's back to almost a double-digit lead. It's a 9-point lead now. Need someone to get to the high post or into the middle. The ball quick there, good. Look to the high post. You fake a pass to make a pass. Megan for a deep three. It's off. She can make that shot. We've seen that happen many times. Into the corner to Meganson. Back to the top to Jones. She reverses to Divjak. Back across. Meganson there. We got pinned inside by number 23. That is Peyton Danner. That goes back to what I was saying a minute ago or a couple of minutes ago about what they've been doing, what they do defensively as opposed to what we do, what we just did there defensively. We didn't move anywhere. We didn't get going anywhere. We just kind of stood and waited in the spot. And Megan goes up and gets fouled. She'll shoot two. They tried to, didn't really set a screen as much as it was posting up. I don't know, maybe Danner set a screen initially and then sealed, but you've got to make sure that you're moving and getting around them. It's like you don't even have to fight through them. You just disengage from them and then step around. So Megan at the free throw line for the second one, and it is good. And it's a 17-9 game here with about 6.5 to go in the second quarter. Danner really works inside. That looked like it could have been a travel. Addie Wilcoxon dives for it, gets it out. Kirby Joe starts to take off with it. Then she circles back, gives it to Addie. Then it goes to Meg. Here's Elena. You gotta, like I said, work that high post. You gotta use that hot person at the high post. The times we've got it in there, that's where Addie is, right here, right? They've done a... Meg does a good job of contesting without fouling. And it's 19-9. Nice pass there. Addie shoots a three. It's short. Nice drive by Jones. She kicks it underneath. The Auburn crowd thought there was a foul. I don't know if I necessarily disagree with them. Over here on my other screen, the middle school boys look like they're going to be down at the half. Auburn inbounds it. That's Meganson. She's going to shoot a jump shot, misses. Rebound down to Elena Snyder. She'll give it off to Kirby Joe with about 5:10 to go. Coach Bunner's going to call a 30-second timeout. He had switched offenses last trip. I think he maybe is just trying to review what he wants them to do. So, it's a 30, so I'll stay with you. Pretty back and forth game. At first it looked like, oh no, we were going to get ran out of the gym. But I know we're down 10, but we were really struggling to score early, and we've got some shots. It's just taking care of the basketball. Their pressure, Auburn's, has really given us a hard time. So we will take it out. Let's see if they're still in the full court press or if they are. Yeah, they've dropped it back. I don't know if it's because of how we were going against it or if Coach O'Rourke, oh, here they come. Just as I started to explain what I thought we needed to do, they did come up there. That's a nice pass by Addie. I still wish we were looking at the high post. You can't, right there, good. That's good. That's the right idea, Kirby Joe. It's the right idea. Although I thought we had Macy down in the short corner there. Got a sub coming in, that's Jones. Bailey Jordan, a freshman, had been in there. So she's going to bring, she stays in there. Number 21, Emerson Womble goes out when Jones comes back in. Number 1, Bailey Jordan, she'll bring it up. It's up to the top to Meganson. Over to Jones. To Jordan. Probably close to a foul. They really will get on the floor. Oh my gosh. That one's not, I don't know how you can call that a travel. That's ridiculous. She didn't, I understand the rolling over. She didn't roll over. Yeah, that's not a good call at all. And I'm not being a homer either. That's not, I mean, a couple other ones that we've had are definitely were, but that's not. Knock it away from behind. It'll be Illini Central basketball. We'll take it out with 4:21 to go here. 4:21 to go in the first half. Throw it up, and it's stolen by Jones. They're just active. Man, this Auburn team, they get after you. They really get after you. They call a foul on Megan. They are very active. Gosh, defensively, there's a reason. They've looking at their regional, their 2A regional that they're in, and looking at some of their opponents. They'll get after you, and so it's 22-9. The funny thing is when you're playing against a zone, it's not about run. You don't really run an offense. You just like have some sort of a scheme of things that you want to do. There, Kirby Joe was wide open at the basket. Meg shoots a three. It's long and goes over the backboard. Kirby Joe is open. We've missed teammates inside in the lane a lot so far. We've missed some people who are open in near the basket a lot, and it's hurt. Because then it's not that then we don't even get a shot. We end up turning it over. Rather turn it over trying to get it towards the basket. There's Jones with it over here. I'm sorry, there's Jones with it. That was Jordan. This is Meganson. She drives, shoots it, and hits an elbow jump shot, and it's 24-9. Now that little bit of offensive momentum that we had is kind of stalled out. They cannot be happy with that defensively. That's the kind of, I'm sure the coaches are not happy. I see Coach Barth right now, at least I'm taking his hand gestures as being that they need to pinch together and not let that happen. The funny thing is that's the kind of thing that somebody who thinks they know what you should do against that kind of defense thinks, well, just dribble up through it like that every time. Well, they absolutely are not happy with that in the least. Jordan will check out. Number 14, Miley Sakamano checks in. You can't dribble right through a defense. You can do it sometimes, and Elena Snyder does a good job of hitting both free throws. You cannot dribble right through the defense in varsity basketball, at least against a good team, a team that's got a record like what they do. Good try by Megan to get a steal. Meganson was on the floor. Didn't look like she was very happy with that. There did look like a lot of contact. Good hands by Kirby Joe on that. There's a three on the other side. Rebound down to Jones. Goes up, and she's going to get 2 shots out of it. It's a little bit more active than we are, and they're the ones that had to hop on a cold bus and ride all the way up here from Auburn, and they're quicker to the ball. I know we only currently have 6 players at the game, and they've played just about almost everybody on the varsity roster tonight already. But they are definitely quicker to the ball, and they have a 13-point lead to show for it. Make that 14. So with 2:58 to go, Illini Central Greenview's got to find something to do here. Nice, there we go. Kick. Into the corner to Addie. Back to the corner to Elena. Back up to Addie. Need that high post flash. Addie over to Macy. Macy down to Elena in the corner. Back to Macy. Gives it off to Elena, who drives and tries to kick it out to Kirby Joe. She's got it. Defense hounding her there. Addie skips it across to Elena for 3. That's good. So Coach Bunner calls timeout with the score 27-14. The middle school game is at halftime. It's at halftime. Looks like the feed's still working here on my end. Like I said, I'll keep you updated, the Illini Central fans, on how that sectional game is going. Boys with an opportunity to go to state if they can pick up a win. They're trailing by 6 at the half. So the next 3 games, I'll do this for Auburn now, and then I'll get to ours later. Auburn's got a game on Thursday at Athens. Again, I'm going off of what I see on Max Preps. And then that's at home. They have home Athens on Thursday. Then next week, I guess it's a week from today. Is that right? I don't know. I'd have to look at the calendar, but it's the second. Didn't write down days. I wrote down dates. On the 2nd of February, they host Pleasant Plains. Then the following game, or the game after that, would be Lincolnwood on the 5th. So those are the next 3 games. Those of you that might be from Auburn listening to my broadcast, usually kind of give you a heads up of what we have coming up, and I try to do it for the other team as well. So season's winding down. It won't be long. It'll be regional time, and I'll get into that in the second half. But that's the next 3 games for Auburn. And they'll call a jump ball, I think, and it will be, I think they'll call it a jump ball, I think. Or actually, no, they didn't. They gave possession to Auburn. So, yeah, what I did was, and like I said, I'll get into it in the second half. It's the time of year regional seeding will be soon. So I kind of looked at the subsectional that the Lady Trojans are in, and I looked at ours, and kind of, without going into deep coaching, nerdy dive into it and who's played who, just kind of looking if you just go off of records and things like that. I'll get into that in the second half. We got 1:32 to go here. One thing about calling these games by yourself is there's nobody to bounce things off of or whatever. So nice play by Macy to get a hand on it. So with 1:26 to go, they're going to throw it into the backcourt is Auburn, and then they're going to, that's Jones over to Divjak all the way in the corner. Then not sure what that was, but we got a steal out of it. Over to Elena. Elena back to Kirby Joe, into the high post to Addie. Kicks it out to Meg, to Kirby Joe. You really got to look at that high post. Really got to look to that high post. I know I've kind of said it a few times, but really got to do that. Really got to get the ball to the high post. Because when we've done that, and if you don't know where the high post is, it's where the free throw line is. It's in that gold half circle area. If we get it there, we've had a couple really nice drop down passes. That's where they don't want it to get. Jones is going to hold it up here at top. She gives it over to Divjak, back over to Jones. We're obviously not going to get up there. We're going to stay right where we're at. Pressuring them right now is not going to do us any good. They're going to hold it for the last shot. Looking at the middle school boys game, gosh, we just really don't. So 15 seconds to go. That looked like it might have been a double dribble. There's a, well, I'm not. I don't know if, I thought it looked like they threw it into the backcourt. So as we go to the half, it's Lady Cougars down 27-14 here in the Cougar Den to the Auburn Lady Trojans. So I'm going to cut out till halftime, or after halftime. I'll be back to call the second half. And if you are a Illini Central person and you want to kind of see, want to watch that game, I did post the link earlier on the Sports Network, that middle school boys game, if you want to switch over to that while we're at halftime here. So that link is on Facebook.
Well, I'm back with the score 27-14 in favor of the Lady Trojans. If you did what I said and flipped over to the middle school boys game, they're down 28-20 with about 1:20 to go. If you're watching from home, I know it's probably ahead of that. They've got to be in the fourth quarter now, but I can only go off of what I'm seeing. So hopefully they're even closer than what they are right now. Got to hit some shots. There's a nice one. All right, so let's see what we can get. See if we can get some momentum here to go in the second half of this game. It'll be our ball to start. Looks like, from what I see on the screen, that Auburn has gone back with their starting five, which was Emmy Divjak, Addison Jones, Ellie Harvey, Peyton Danner, and Reese Meganson. We have gone back with our starters. We did try to look where we wanted to look, which is down low to where Addie was. We got to skip it across into the high post. I'm going to call a foul there. I was afraid they were going to call a carry. There was going to be a carry called, I thought. To Liv for a three, and Liv's hot shooting continues. She, not necessarily tonight. She was in foul trouble. I think she's in foul trouble. She had 2 fouls. She's been shooting the ball. That's out to Divjak, to Meganson. Meganson drives up top to Jones. Jones reverses it over to Divjak, back to Jones up top. That's in the corner to Meganson, who drives, gets cut off by Liv. Lane closes out on Divjak. That's to Harvey at the free throw line. Danner's the one that's down in the short corner down below, trying to get position down there. And she gets the ball in that position. No foul. They're going to call timeout. So it was good defense by the Lady Cougars, and there'll be a timeout for Auburn. So what I was saying was, so you have dead air. This is where when you're doing this by yourself, it's like, okay, you're just sitting here talking to yourself. The subsectional, our subsectional has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 teams in it. They're in the other one, 1, 2, 3. There's 10 in Auburn's, and they're subsectional. So we have 2 more in ours, clearly. You can do that awesome Tony Worley math right there. Back to it. I'll get to that conversation in a minute. That's Divjak out to nice hands by the Lady Cougars again, trying to get a hand on it. Meganson. That was a well played, not really a catch, but she corralled it. Did Emmy Divjak kick out there to Jones, who drives all the way in and gets a shot. They're going to go back to the 2-2-1 full court press, where we know we needed to try to get it to the middle or up the sides. Up the sides or the middle is the place to go against this. There's the middle. It's knocked away. And they get a layup out of it to the other end. 2-2-1 is a different type of full court press. It's not really pressuring you the same way. It's more trying to get you to go to certain spots on the court that then you end up throwing passes you don't want to throw. A 2-2-1 is totally different than a regular press. You have to not be don't want to get in a hurry. Don't want to get in a hurry. You want to, and even though the crowd is telling you to hurry up and get it across half court, the funny thing is, as a coach, you would rather turn the ball over on a 10-second call where they have to take it out. Shot was an air ball long, and it goes off of, it's going to be our ball. You'd rather have a 10-second call, make the other team have to take the ball out of bounds, as opposed to throw it right to them where they go and make a layup. See, that's where they want you to go. They want you to dribble it across half court. I'm not picking on Elena, but that's what they would like you to do. Like with that 1-2-2, what they do is they give and they give and they give, and then you come across half court, and then they use the sideline and the half court line as an extra defender, and they trap you in those corners. So what you really don't want to do is you don't want to get caught just going across half court and picking it up. Again, with a 1-2-2, you're trapping, you're trying to, throw out of pressure or whatnot. You really don't want to do that against a 2-2-1. So Auburn with the ball back. There's a 3. That's going to be short. I'll tell you what, Addison Jones is everywhere. She plays really hard. She really gets after it. The thing about her that I like in today's high school, no, we miss Macy. Skip it across to Meg. Nice pass inside. We've just missed all kinds of opportunities inside. I don't mean missed shots, missed opportunities to get it to it. What I was saying about Addison Jones from Auburn, never having seen her play basketball before that I know of. How old is Addison? She's the junior, so probably not. Maybe when she was here as a freshman. She doesn't try to do things that she can't do. Like, she's not shooting a bunch of threes. She's had a couple of open looks, and I'm not saying she can't make threes because I don't know that, but she's like penetrating, getting shots for teammates. She's pushing the basketball. She attacks at angles that would help her team out. As a former coach, those are the kind of players you want to have on your team. That's like, she does a good job of getting her team in what they're trying to do. Meganson shoots it short, but they get the rebound. Look like they got the rebound, but they stepped out of bounds. We'll see a sub here. You can kind of see it on the screen. See the two girls up front for Auburn, and then the 2 back here, and then the one all the way back. They're putting a little bit of pressure up, but that's not where they're looking to get a steal. They'd like you to, you want to get it in the middle of that. And we did it early. That's the unfortunate thing, is we were doing it early. We were doing it the right way early, and we've just kind of scrapped it. I don't think we've strategically on purpose scrapped it. We just haven't been doing it. That's Meganson for 3. That's long. Rebound down to Addie. That's a foul on number 1, Bailey Jordan. And you can see it when I put it, when I get the camera to here. You see the 2-2-1, and what they like, and what they'd really like to do is get you just across half court. If you get it to the middle, see, that's where they want to, but you get it out of that quickly. You want to trap there in the corner too. I bet they do that. Too far. Too far of a pass. Can't throw that pass that far. Coach Bunner has tried to get someone at the high post the entire game. There's Macy right there. See Macy at the free throw line. Live for a deep 3. It's off. Meg thought about it, and Addison Jones gets the rebound, pushes it into the front court. She's going to, with 2:20 to go in the third quarter. They try to run some offense. This is Emerson Womble. Gonna run some offense and see what they can get. They're going to work on stuff as they get ready. Womble drives to the elbow, gives it off. And I said that She didn't shoot a three, and then she shot that one, but that was a good shot. That's why I actually mentioned what I mentioned, because she had some others that she had passed up. You like a kid who knows there's some good offense. If we got somebody at the high post right there. Megan Hughes for three. That's good. You like players who do the things that can help their team win. It isn't all about scoring points. It isn't all about whatever that thing is that everybody else thinks it is about. You got to get after it for the girls. Get a steal. Kirby Joe going to bring it up. Kick out to Liv. No, too far. Too far, Liv. That pass is too far. All kinds of yelling from both sides in there. So back to if you're not watching the boys, it's 30, Coach Bunner switches defense to the 1-3-1. Got a rebound, girls. There's a grabbed rebound by Olivia. Coach Bunner went to the 1-3-1. Try to shake things up a little bit. To Kirby Joe. She travels. So like I said, I bet that game's over right now over in the Cougar Center. If you're at home like me, or I'm not at home. I live here, but if you're at home watching, we're probably behind. Like I said, it has been behind quite a bit. And there's that 1-3-1. Good hustle by Megan Hughes to try to get the steal. That's a way to anticipate. The score, depending on where it's at time-wise in the middle school, in case you're in a position where you can't switch back and forth between me and that, is boys are down 33-32 with 1:06 to go. Here, it's a 10-point game, 33-23 Auburn leads. And the 1-3-1 in the last two trips has worked. Let's see what. And at the end of the quarter, it's a 10-point game. It's funny, Coach Bunner's hand was forced by Auburn, and he went to the 1-3-1, which he uses at times, and to some success, actually. So anyway, let's go to our next three for the Lady Cougars, what they have coming up. So snow day meant I'm home doing all the work that the class does. We have Mount Pulaski, who is just on absolute fire tomorrow night here at the Cougar Center, not here in this gym. The boys play here against Williamsville. Tomorrow night I'll be back here broadcasting boys basketball. Then on Thursday night they head to Maroa Forsyth, much like the drive that Auburn had to make tonight. It's a long ride over to Maroa. I've made those with the boys many times. And then next week on the 2nd of February, we play host to Riverton here in the Cougar Den. So those are the next three games for the Lady Cougars. I already mentioned the next three for Auburn are home Athens, home Plains, and then at Lincolnwood. So with 8 minutes to go in the game, 10-point game, see if the 1-3-1, see if Coach Bunner stayed in it or if he. And if he switched it, you switch it because they talk about it in their huddle about how they want to guard it, and then you switch because then you hope that maybe they forget. There's a three by Emmy Divjak, tracked down by Kirby Joe. She gives it off to Addie Wilcoxon. Addie's going to bring it up. They stay in that 2-3 zone that's elevated. They move them up. There's a steal by Emmy Divjak. Not a good pass against that. We have not got the ball at the high post the way they wanted it, but the way they wanted to get it at the high post. We just have not done a good job of that. That's Bailey Jordan on the opposite side of me where I'm sitting. This is Addison Jones up top. Kirby Joe gets out on Emmy Dibjack. We're going to have to pressure up a little bit more now. Need to pressure up a little bit more. That's a drive by Meganson. Dibjack drives, steps through. That's going to be, should be ours. Kirby Joe saves it though. They are quick. They definitely anticipate, and they are quick. Megan drives, kicks out to Elena. One more. That's a nice pass to Liv. Liv for three. That's good basketball right there. Coach Bunner calls a timeout. That's good basketball. Nice drive by Megan. And Elena did what I mentioned earlier about not letting the ball stick in her hands. If Elena sits there and holds it and thinks, you know what, I want to shoot it. She had a good shot. Liv had a great shot. She swung it to Liv for the great shot, and that is good basketball, like I said. So it will be Auburn basketball. The Lady Cougars just hit a big three. And now it'll be interesting to see what defense Bunner plays this trip. Because if you're Auburn, one thing Auburn was doing was they were really trying to Illini Central go 1-3-1. Ooh, that was close to a travel. Jones, that's a foul on Elena. That was Coach Bunner was talking about closeouts. Do we have foul trouble over there? We have 3 or 2 on Meg, 2 on Elena, 2 on Liv. So we can kind of go as we want here. The 1-3-1, he's moved people around. He's moved Meg to the top. Meg's normally what he calls the warrior on the bottom. That's Kirby Joe now. Well, Addie didn't get to where she needed to be. We talked about when the 1-3-1, the wings have to go from the wing to the opposite block. They got to get there. They got to get to that spot. I actually had mentioned to Coach Bunner about a week ago that I thought Addie would be great on the wing. But you really have to be the anticipating person. So the three-pointer by Liv is taken away right there by a three-point play. Whoops, sorry everybody, I moved the camera a little too far. So 5:50 to go. There's a three-pointer off, missed, but they get the offensive rebound. Megan gets after it. Good rebound by Megan. It's what you love, those, like I said, it's not about boxing out. Sometimes it's about just go get it. Kirby Joe with it. You really need that high post flash. There's the skip. Still, I mean, the offense has been set up to try to get the ball to the high post. There was no one in it. I don't think they changed defenses on us. There's Dibjack across to Meganson in the corner. And that's a foul there. Number 21 is Emerson Womble. That's 3 fouls on us. Here comes Macy. Macy will get Meg. So Addie will go to the top, it looks like. Oh, there we go. Good, Macy. Gotta love somebody on the wing. The girls are being aggressive, good hands. The problem with problem with us being able to be this aggressive for 4 quarters, when you got 6 people, it's hard to do that. So you kind of got to pick your spots. The 1-3-1 looks really good right now. It's just unfortunate we're down 10. So again, the 2-2-1 up the sides, in the middle, good. Get out of that corner. Good. Reverse quick. Good flash by Elena. High post to Kirby Joe to Addie. We just lost the ball. And they're going to get an and one out of it. We just don't take good enough care of the basketball. That's one of the things that just kills us, is we just, even the times that we turn it over when it's a bad pass, we just have a lot of situations too where we just dribble it in a way that just really hurts, gets knocked away, and they get steals that way. And Meganson, she made the basket, but not the free throw. And with 4:20 to go in the third quarter, that pass goes over Kirby Joe's head. And Coach Bunner calls timeout, full timeout, to talk about it. So one of the things I was saying when I said I would mention it, I need to talk about this, since I went through the trouble to write it all down. Unfortunately, it looks like the 7th grade boys fell tonight 34-32 in that sectional game. Well, anyway, I'm talking about the sub-sectionals, and Rochester hosts one, and Auburn actually gets to host one. The number 1 seed, I'm sure, obviously right now, is Plains, who's 18-0, and then Auburn, like I said, comes in. They look like they're in a position now to go to 14-10. That would be Pawnee is 18-7. And those are the only teams. Carlinville has 10 wins, but when I looked at Auburn, I think hadn't Auburn beaten Carlinville earlier in the year, or is that coming up later? Auburn fans are probably like, no, we don't play them until later. Actually, Worley, we don't even play them at all. I could have swore that was on theirs. So the rest of the teams have only single-digit wins, but a lot of them are like 9s, 7s, some 8s. So there's a real good chance that Auburn, if they can finish strong here in Sangamo Conference play, end up being a top 3 seed in this regional, and like I said, be hosting. I mean, they're hosting the regional anyway, so they've got an opportunity to be that top 4 seed, and that's a good thing. On our side of it, ours has got a lot more teams with definitely double-digit wins. Addie drives, kicks to Meg. Meg pulls for 3. It's long. Rebound down to, looks like, that looked like Meganson from here. I like those gray uniforms, but sometimes it makes it hard to see when the darker color number is on there very well when you're old and you're looking at your computer screen with your cheater glasses on. So drive, shot missed, rebound back up, rebound down to Addie Wilcoxon. Elena Snyder got a piece of that had a chance to get it. 3:37 to go. Addie drives, should get a shot up and scores. 3:30 to go, and it's a 10-point game, 38-28. Addie doing a good job right there. Got to get over. Meganson with it. I'm going to call a foul on Addie. In our subsectional, Havana and Lewistown are the hosts, which is kind of funny because a lot of subsectionals, one of the schools is way far away from everybody else, and Havana and Lewiston are literally 20 minutes from one another, which is good for those of us who are relatively close. The top team in our subsectional is Brown County. They're 20-2. Havana's got 18 wins. Liberty's got 19 wins. And then, like I said, there's a lot of teams in that double-digit wins, not in that to that high of a level. But so both free throws go for Meganson. Kirby Joe with it, still in that 2-2-1. We look ahead. Elena's got it. Over to Meg. Back to Kirby Joe with a nice little fake, and then she tries to throw a bounce pass, but it gets stolen. But Elena does a good job of hustling back. And then Elena wasn't happy with that call. I'm not quite sure what that call was either. Well, Coach Bunner not happy with that foul call. I would have been asking what she should have or could have done different. Like what? I mean, it looked like she went straight up to me. I don't know. But doesn't matter what I say. I'm sitting up here and they're down there. So in ours, Brown County would be the #1 seed. And then depending on, what they had done against Havana, they've got 2 less wins than Havana, at least at this time. So anyway, they've got obviously having Plains on their side, and they see Plains, like I said, I mentioned in the next 3 coming up. So definitely important games down the stretch for the Lady Trojans. For our Lady Cougars, we're just trying to build some momentum for a chance at winning a regional game and seeing what we can do going forward from there. You just want to, like I mentioned in my keys to the game, you want to have some level of momentum going towards the postseason, because when the postseason gets here, anybody, pretty much anybody on a given night, if you're in a regional game against someone that's on your level, you got a chance of getting a win and seeing if you can make something happen. Kirby Joe dribbles through it, throws a pass down to Addie Wilcoxon, who gets the basket. Drive, miss. Rebound down to Addie Wilcoxon. Lady Cougars will bring it into the front court with 2 minutes to go. Addie will drive. Kick out here. Probably got away with the travel. Not there, the one before that. There's a shot missed. Rebound down to Liv. Out to Kirby Joe for 3. That's off. Rebound down to Addie. She'll go up. They're going to call that on the floor. And that'll be their second team foul. So with 1:34 to go, it's a 46-30 score in favor of Auburn. They're going to reverse quick to Elena. Elena is not open, decides not to take it because it wouldn't have been a good shot. Meg takes it, rebound down. It's going to be white ball out of bounds under the basket. That's a foul on number 25. That's Meganson. Reese Meganson. Liv drives. Kick out here from Elena to Addie. Addie to Kirby Joe. Kirby Joe to Meg. Meg for 3. Rebound down to 21. That's Womble. This is number 11, Divjak. There'll be 58.8 seconds left to go. And the free throw will be shot by Addison Jones. Auburn's, like I said, they got a nice little team. They got a nice team, I guess. I don't know why you say it that way. They'll be 14-10 after tonight, assuming Max Preps knows what they're talking about. The Lady Cougars had some momentum. Played good in stretches tonight. Did some good things. Got hurt by a little bit of not taking care of the basketball at different times. And then kind of getting away from what the strategy was. The strategy was to get the ball into the high post. And the times we did it, it worked. And we would miss. We would miss the person at the high post, which then maybe the person at the high post would end up missing, dumping it down to whoever. So with 38.4 to go, it's a 20-point game. If you just tuned in or to me and you were watching the game over at the Cougar Center, it was a tough loss for the 7th grade boys as their season comes to an end. But what a great season they had. Only had 2 losses. I think they ended up with 23 wins, I think. So it's one of those things where, you get to that point, you get to a sectional, pretty much everybody you run into at that point they're good. So another great season. The 8th grade boys, tomorrow night, they have an opportunity to win another one and advance to the regional championship game in Greenview tomorrow. So 15 seconds to go. That was a 3 by Elena Snyder. Off to Kirby Joe. Lady Cougars, real tough game tomorrow night as they take on Mount Pulaski. In the Cougar Center. That is a switch from that is a change from the game where it was supposed to be in Greenview. They had a conflict, is what I was told, I think, or there was a conflict. I don't know what the conflict was, but supposed to be in the Cougar Center. That game will now be, or the game was supposed to be at Greenview. It will be in the Cougar Center. So in case, I will make sure I post that and emphasize that tomorrow on social media when I make my post. But girls fought at different times tonight. The score doesn't really reflect, I think, how good we did play it in stretches, but it also does reflect the fact that we could have taken better care of the basketball at some point, at different points throughout the game. So I will not be broadcasting that game. Like I said, it won't be in here. It'll be the boys' game. The boys will be taking on Williamsville tomorrow. I'll be in here for that game. So glad you tuned in. Glad you stayed where it was warm, hopefully. And I got a chance to bring the game to you. So if you're looking for the boys' game tomorrow night, I'll be bringing it to you. I'll also be posting the link for the girls' game that will be in the Cougar Center. So take care, have a good evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night.